Hello, Kristen here. I told you I would be back before a month had passed since I did my last video. I'm going to be talking about yarn braids that I obviously have in my hair. I put some stuff down that I want to talk about so I wouldn't just be sitting here and trying to think about what I wanted to say. Okay, so yarn braids are a good way to protect your style and have it for a long period of time. This is my third time doing yarn braids. I've been 3 years natural, so I usually do it every winter to give my hair a break because the winter is very, very harsh on our hair as natural hair girls. So the first time I did my yarn braids, it was a complete fail. I had them in for like 2 weeks because I didn't take my time and do it. Like, they were very loose, and so they were just kind of slipping out of my hair, so I only had them for 2 weeks, which it just seemed like it was a waste of time. The second time I had it, which was last year, I had them in for about 4 weeks, so I took my time and was successful with that. This time I finished yesterday, and I want to try to keep them in till about January. So here we are, November 22nd. So I'm going to try to keep them in about 6 to 8 weeks. There are people that keep them in longer. I wouldn't recommend going longer than 12 weeks, though. I think by that time you may need to deep condition your hair. But I want to keep them until at least the new year or whatever. So what kind of yarn do you use when you get yarn braids? You want to get the Red Heart Super Saver. This is the acrylic yarn. Any other yarn you get that isn't acrylic, it's going to lock your hair and you're going to have to cut your hair off, and you don't want to do that. But the reason I like yarn braids is because you get the look of locks without the commitment. I love locks. I love all types of style when it comes to locks. I like the really small ones. I like the big ones. I like the medium size. I'm just not a person who thinks that I can commit to locks, because locks is, you know, they're permanent. If you put them in your hair, they're there forever. So I like having a look for a little while, then going back to my big hair. How long did it take? It depends how long your hair is. It depends on how long you want your braids, how big you do them. The first time I did my yarn braids, it took about, I stayed up all night, which is, I don't recommend doing because you're going to be tired, you're going to get frustrated, you're not going to want to do them. So it took me about 12 hours to do. The second time it took me 8 hours, and this time it took me about almost 9, because I did go to bed. I started yesterday, the day before yesterday, I started at like 1:30, and then I went all the way until about 7 something. So it took me about 9 hours to do, because I got up the next day and spent 2 hours and I was done. What else? So anybody, you know, that's one thing you're going to have to think about when you do your hair. If you ever went and got your hair braided, it takes a while. And it does take a while because you want to take your time and do it. You want to make sure it's done right. You want to make sure they stay in your head. All that stuff. So that's a con when it comes to it. How to keep them moisturized. Moisturize, what I would recommend doing is just spritz your hair with water. Make sure your scalp gets some water. And get some oil, like coconut oil, avocado oil, EVA oil, and just massage your scalp when it needs it. Your scalp will tell you when it needs to be moisturized. It will feel dry, it will itch. Just spritz water all over your scalp, rub it in. There you go. Can you wash them? You can wash your hair with yarn braids. I've done it before. The only thing I hate is that yarn takes forever to dry. It took about a good 2.5 days for my hair to dry. So if you're going to wash your hair, I don't recommend doing it like every week or every 2 weeks like you would if you had no braids. I recommend doing it maybe twice the entire time you have your braids in. If you do like a really good deep conditioning before you put your braids in, and then spritz your hair and moisturize it, seal it or whatever, you're probably not going to have to wash your hair. Just take care of it as if it were, you know, your real hair. The reason for yarn braids, I said this at the beginning, is a really, really good protective style. I don't like protective styling just with my hair because I have hand and hair syndrome. I end up, like when I've worn mini twist twice since I've been natural, and I always end up taking them down and redoing them. I just keep messing with them. With the yarn braids, it's kind of hard to take them down and mess with them. This time I can, you know, I can put my hair in different styles. I can do lots of things with it and still have my hair protected. I'm not gonna, you know, it's not gonna cause breakage or anything. And it just keeps my hair put away for the winter time. The winter time is extremely harsh on my hair. It just does damage. Like, if I don't have my hair protected during the winter, I have to walk around with a spray bottle and oil. Literally, like, I'm walking around my house with a spray bottle because it seems like my hair just dries out as soon as I wet it. So that's the reason for yarn braids. It's the only protective style that I like on my hair. My hair. Because I know somebody will say, have you tried this? I don't like what I was saying before my memory card decided to run out of space and I had to format it. So I talked about, what did I talk about? I don't remember. Oh, I said I wouldn't recommend washing them, and what else was I talking about? I don't remember. Got a little irritated. How to wear them without damaging your hair. You know, how you put them in is you don't want them so tight to your scalp that it hurts. You know, you want a little bit of leg room when it comes. I'm going to take my hair down. It's just in a bun to show you. You can see the length of them also. This is a good length for me. Let me zoom in so you guys can see. This is a good length for me. Just, you know, a little bit below my shoulders because it's still long enough for me to, put in a ponytail. It's, I can bun it up or whatever. So how to wear them. On your edges, you don't want them so tight that it's going to pull your edges out, okay? You want a little bit of, you know, leeway. Let me zoom in. You know, you want a little bit, there we go, of room. You know, you don't want them so tight that it's gonna, you know, hurt your hair or whatever. So that is that. That is my tips and everything for yarn braids. You know, I add a little bit of gel when I put the yarn into the edges, and I will probably put gel maybe once a week if I notice the edges are getting a little bit frizzy. Just kind of gel it down, but gel does dry out the hair, so you are going to have to moisturize and whatnot. So those are my tips. My battery is dying, so if you have any more questions or comments, leave a if you have any questions or want to know anything else, leave them down below and I will try to answer them because my battery is dying. I can't really talk much longer. So with that said, I'm going to get out of here and I will see you guys next time. Bye.